Hi everyone, welcome to the halfway point in the course. We're midway through week 7 and things are kind of coming along. A couple of things. So first, I've spent some time talking with IT and I know the last few weeks things have been a little bit difficult as far as I think they've had a few more than average outages, which is partly why I extended it and gave 3 weeks on the assignment. I normally just give 2, but we obviously extended it. We've also had a slightly higher than I've seen uh, of students who are for whatever reasons are not participating in their wiki. So again, I couldn't figure that out. I've sent some emails out, and I kind of that's part of the extension as well. So you've got today's Thursday evening. You've got until Sunday evening to complete those. Most of the groups are coming along nice, and things look like they're going well and progressing well. In this video here, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the upcoming things and how to navigate your way through them. So one of the things that you're going to see that's coming up is a quiz. So that quiz date you will have till Tuesday, till Tuesday the 27th. That's about 5 or 6 days from now. So where you will find that though is if you go into your weekly modules, and then you go into your week 7, which we're on right now. You see it down here. So obviously with anything else, like everything else, you're to go through the module. Where you're going to find the information for this one though is chapter 7. So it's not week 7, it's chapter 7. It's right around week 5 and 6 when we looked at all of the substance effects chapter. Sorry about that. So one of the things we're going to look at now is, again, so if you go into your weekly modules, which is what brings up this, you click on your module 7, which is the week we're on. So obviously, again, as I've said before, the modules flow with the weeks. We're on week 7, that's week module. Sorry, that's module 7 then. Then what you're going to do is you're going to click quiz. Here's research report. Really what this is, if you click this, I should start with this. This is just getting you thinking about this. You can see that this assignment's due, I believe, week 15, but don't quote me on that. It's in our appendix. But what happens is, if you open this up, it's going to talk. That's where you submit it there. But again, if we go through some of this stuff, here's the instructions for your research paper. It's just to get you thinking about it. Obviously it's not due. It's just to get you thinking and kind of moving in that direction. But again, so what we're looking at is module 7. You're going to see the quiz down here. So what's going to happen is the quiz is based around substance effects and substance use, and substance classification. So as you see, as you click this, it tells you a few things. The test is set for 30 minutes. The test will save and submit automatically when the time expires. So no matter where you are, that is when the test will be done. The test can be saved and resumed at any point, but again, you only have 30 minutes, and the time starts from when you start it. So your timer will continue to run even if you leave the test. Even though if you come back in, you'll come back at that point. So really, you should try to book half an hour and sit down and do it. If you leave the test, it will pause where you are, but it's not pausing the time, just the actual test where you're at. And again, it says here test is due October 25th, but I've extended that a couple extra days, just because I know people are also working on their wikis. Again, this isn't very strenuous. It does flow along with your book in chapter 7. And so again, I'll give you an example. So we click begin test. And then it tells me all the same stuff. And again, mine is just because I'm in the screencast, it won't allow me to see it. But and so what happens is we have nicotine is characterized by fatigue. Sorry, nicotine withdrawal is characterized by fatigue, irritability, gastrointestinal upset, and craving for nicotine. True or false? So we will say to this one, true. And then we would click, go ahead. And then I'd click down here. Again, sorry, you guys can't see it. I didn't realize that my screencast was not down low enough, but what I would do is I would click next question. So if I was to do this question, I might click true for that question. Then what you see here is moving to the next question prevents changes in the answer. So when you click next question, you have to be set that that is the answer that I want. So again, for me, if nicotine withdrawal is characterized by fatigue, irritability, gastrointestinal upset, and craving for nicotine, if it was me, I would click true on this one, and then I would click over to my next question. As you see, we now get question 2, and so on and so forth. That's a little example of how to do that. I just wanted to put that out there. Okay. And I'm going to leave the page. I'm not actually going to take it. So on the other thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about, so again, the wikis. I just wanted to make mention that, you know, people are progressing along in them. That's great. One of the things that, I mean, you need, if you're in a group, you need to make sure that you're participating in your group. If your group does a whole bunch of stuff, but you actually have zero participation in terms that you added zero to the wiki, you didn't add anything, you're not going to come up for me to be able to grade you. And so I can't give you a grade with the group if your participation is zero. And so obviously there are a few people that have chosen not to participate in them. I've sent some emails out, and hopefully those people get involved. But if not, you can't get a grade if you don't participate. If you participate in your wiki, everybody gets the same grade based on the wiki. So just something to let you guys know. And again, most people are progressing along quite well. I see some groups, maybe haven't quite started to formulate it yet, but they're kind of discussing things. I like to see that. So a couple other things I wanted to draw your attention to. So discussion boards, how we've done discussion form 1 and 2. Discussion form 3, I will be posting the questions somewhere probably in week 8, maybe beginning of week 9. Partly I didn't want to go too early because I know you guys are finishing up your wikis and things like that. So normally I would post them right at the beginning of week 8, but I thought, you know what, I want people to have that time to get back on course with that. And again, just a reminder, so we have 6 discussion forms that we're going to have throughout the course. We've completed 2. We're going to have 3 be completed by week 9. 4 is week 11. 5 is week 13. And 6 is week 15. But remembering too that you are actually only marked out of 5 of them. So what that means, if you do the first 5, or you're happy with your first 5 marks, you don't have to do discussion form 6. Or I know some people didn't do so well on 1, or I saw a bunch of people just didn't do number 2 for whatever reason. So again, for those people, I mean, you're going to want to hit all the discussion forms from here on out. But I do take the 5 of your the best 5 of your 6 discussion forms. So just something to keep in mind as we go along. And I mean, other than that, I know that that online courses are always a challenge for people. I mean, my hope is that as we go through these with the college, they are mandatory now, and that's a fairly new thing, and we're seeing people take these courses and kind of go through them. So I'm hoping that that's going to pick up a little bit as we go through. So, again, a reminder, I know I've said this before, but I have gotten some questions about it, just that these modules are kind of weekly as we go through, and as I said, we're on week 7, module 7, so starting after Sunday will be, every Monday we kind of start a new module. We'll be kind of hitting into week to 8 and 9, and because module 8 and 9 are together, what you're actually seeing here is that this is like a 2-week module. The next thing I wanted to point out, so when you click into module 8 and 9, which is over a 2-week period, what you're going to see is there's assessment number 3, the clinical assessment. So you've got, if I show you, let me see if I pull it up here. So this is your appendix, which you can find in the course information, and then click the appendix link. I'm just kind of showing you the do stuff. So what we're doing here, the drug classification, that's the wiki that we're doing now. You've got your discussion forms that we're kind of doing throughout the course. Then what you're going to see is that clinical assessment. That's the one we're looking at now. You're going to start to think about starting. I'm going to talk a little bit about it in kind of around week 9, 8 and 9. I'll start to introduce it. And you can see here what it is and back there. And then the last thing or sorry, what you also see here is you've got a research paper. That's, you know, a 3 to 4 page paper written about a specific addiction topic. It's not due until December 6, week 13. And then you've got 2 quizzes. So that first quiz, which says week 7, but I bumped that to midweek 8, like I said, Tuesday. And then we've got one more quiz that we're going to be doing week 12. So that's, you know, a rundown of the course. You know, I just wanted to, a halfway point, I wanted to keep kind of people on this. And I know sometimes people are a little, it's hard to conceptualize an online course. And what I want people to think about, though, is that it is no different than an in class in terms of the time spent. So an online course, if you figure out the in class for me for the addictions is a 3-hour in class plus about an hour of homework a week in terms of reading. So what I'm hoping is, again, same for this, is that you would be spending anywhere from 3 to 5 hours, because that hour of homework that people have each week is their readings, some assignments, things like that, and that depends on each person. So, you know, you figure each class should take you about that 4 to 5 hours. Same as any of your in classes, right? You have the 3 hours of in class for those 3-hour classes, plus between an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours of homework, depending on the person. So that's really what we're looking at. And I know sometimes it feels like a lot, but you know, if we put a few chunks of time aside each week, and the beauty of an online class is that you do it at your own leisure, right? If you want to do it on, you know, an hour and a half on Tuesday evening and then an hour and a half on Thursday evening, for the most part, you can get most of what you need done, and you might even come out ahead in time. It's possible, depending on how things go. Hopefully, you know, with like any learning curve, that this has just slowly gotten slightly easier for people. So just to go back to the course piece, you know, I just wanted to go through that. Hopefully that's been helpful for people, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to email me. Again, I really do apologize for Blackboard. It's been down more this semester than I've seen, and we're gonna keep posted on that. Although when I was talking to IT, they said it looks like they don't have, other than a few planned outages for server stuff, they feel like they've got a good handle on things. So we're gonna go with that. We're gonna trust that works. One thing I should say though is, and I'm gonna pull it down here, what I suggest to people and what has been told to me by IT that might be part of the problem is that if people are going to slc.me and then going through their Blackboard link, they're having more problems with it that way. So one thing they suggest is for you to use www.blackboard.sl.on.ca and just put it right into your browser bar. Go through it that way, and they said that it's had a smoother transition. And I wasn't able to use it through slc.me, and I didn't realize, but I was just having it linked through my favorites that way in my computer. And I switched it up, and I was able to do this, get on here and do all this stuff for you guys tonight. So I really hope to be posting a lot more videos now that I've got that piece all figured out. And good luck, and continue the great work and you know, kind of the great conversation and dialogue that I've seen taking place on our last discussion board and through the wikis and the wiki discussion boards that you guys have been doing. So keep up the great work, and I look forward to a little more teaching and going through this stuff and the material with you guys. Take care.